The Great North Walk starts at the Obelisk in Sydney. This obelisk is nearly 200 years old and is the 0 point for all measurements taken on roads in New South Wales. This walk gets us from the city up to Boronia Park, and to get there we go down to Circular Quay and pick up the ferry. And from there we walk along through Hunter's Hill, along a series of roads, tracks, footpaths and back lanes, until we go under Burnsbury Road and up to Boronia Park, and really, to me, the start of the Great North Walk. To get there, we need to go to Wharf 5 at Circular Quay. As our ferry leaves, we can look out to the right to see the Opera House and part of the harbour, but we're going to turn left onto the bridge and head up to Woolwich. Hunter's Hill is actually quite close to the city. Once we get off the ferry, we can start walking up the hill, past the very faded Great North Walk sign. And once we get to the top of the hill, we turn left and start a walk along some streets until we come to a place called the Goat Paddock. Isn't that a great name for an open parkland? And on the other side of the road is the Woolwich Pier Hotel. And I've got to admit to having had many lunches there during my corporate sales years. But today we're going to follow the Great North Walk. And there is a great lookout which looks down over a dry dock put in there over 100 years ago for the Morts Dock and Engineering Company. Today it's home for some boats and yachts. From the lookout we follow the concrete path down to the road and up the hill, but it's always worth stopping for a nice look. After nearly a kilometre we arrive at Kelly's Bush. Now Kelly's Bush was originally a reserve put in to hide the smelting company's premises from Parramatta River. And there was a big fight in the 1970s, and this area actually had the world's first green ban. And thank goodness for that, we still have today as a piece of bush close to Sydney. The story is told on a little information board at the top of the hill. We exit the park and walk along some more roads. Hunter's Hill is one of the better well-to-do suburbs of Sydney. It consists mainly of large houses and mansions, all in beautiful shady streets. Many of the houses have got very pleasant water views. Not all of this walk is along streets. We head off down various back lanes and pathways. And when we get down to the waterfront, we'll turn left and walk along the grassy foreshore past several large mansions. Soon we're back on the streets and we do a few right and left hand turns around the streets past some of the more interesting spots, which eventually brings us to the little shopping centre of Hunters Hill. Some very good cafes and restaurants here. After about a kilometre, we turn right, heading down past the school to the waterfront yet again. And this time again we turn left and head along the track between the school and the water. We eventually come up against Burns Bay Road, and here the Great North Walk goes underneath the roadway. And as we climb up the little hill, we come back into another reserve. From here it's only half a kilometre to Ryde Road, and about half a kilometre along Ryde Road until we get to Boronia Avenue and Boronia Park, the end of our walk.